Welcome back to SportsLine, everybody. Once again, our thanks to Thomas Willis from NashvillePredators.com for jumping on as we get ready for the playoffs. The Preds in Anaheim, they left today. They'll practice in Anaheim tomorrow, and then Game 1 tomorrow night, just after 9:30. Game 1, Game 2 will be Sunday night at 9:30. And once this series starts, just know that there'll be a game every other night from now until Game 7, if there is one. So it'll be Friday, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, etc., etc., etc. So we look forward to a great series between the Nashville Predators and the Anaheim Ducks. Brian has been waiting patiently on line 2. Brian, what's up?
Hello. I was just eating some nuts on the break. I'm going to predict the Predators in 7, and then in the second round, whoever wins, the Predators Canucks are going to do it in 6.
Okay. What gives you this confidence that the Predators are going to get through these 2 rounds?
They're in their groove right now. It just seems like, just seems like everything's coming together, and I just think that plus, the history with Anaheim losing at home in the 7th game, I don't know. I just got a feeling. I just got a weird feeling about it.
I think a lot of people share your sentiments, Brian. I mean, yeah, this team is going to have to do it on the road, but you look at the way they're playing right now. We talked about this with Thomas in the last segment. Just the fact that they have a lot more offensive firepower than they've had in the past. I mean, I know things clamp down a lot in the playoffs, and there's a lot of defensive play. But sooner or later, you got to put the puck in the net. You got 2 30-goal scorers to deal with, plus Ryan Johansson, plus a guy like Roman Josi, who's certainly a scoring defenseman, as is Shea Weber and Pekka Rinne. If he could have a Jonathan Quick-like run, who's to say that the Predators couldn't make a deep run?
Yeah, and when's opening day of the Sounds? Is that tomorrow night? It's going to be cold.
That was last week.
Oh, God, I'm a little behind.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, thanks.
Thanks for the call. Brian checking in. He's a little late on the Sounds. Yeah, the Sounds actually had an afternoon game today. They're going to have 7 Wednesday noon, I believe 12:05 games this season. Remember, they didn't have any day games except for Sundays last year. Maybe they didn't even have Sunday afternoon games. But they're going to have a weekday businessmen special games, 7 of them. First one was today, so great way to split up your week, especially if you're in the downtown area or you're near Sulphur Dell. Go on down and catch a few innings on your lunch break of the Nashville Sounds, and I promise you the weather will get a lot better. It's been a little bit chilly lately, but the weather will warm up, and it will be baseball season. Right now it's hockey playoff season, though, as we said. Preds getting ready to take on the Ducks, Game 1 Friday night. Before they left for Southern California, we caught up with the Preds and head coach Peter Laviolette earlier this afternoon.
All the work been put in now, and it's just time to go?
No, we're still working.
Yeah?
We're still working. We'll do some things on the plane. We got things to do tomorrow, so it's good when you get a lot of preparation. They get it as well, so all things are equal. Sometimes between series, you get 2 days. You might get 2 days if you go 7 games. So we just want to make sure that we got all of our bases covered and that we're prepared and ready to play.
I've heard guys say before that life on the road is kind of a fun thing. It's a rallying thing, team bonds. Is that the case, and is it even amplified more when the playoffs are here?
That's probably more road trips when you're getting your team together. The road's important because if you're starting on the road, you got to win a game there anyway. And, that's our objective, is to go out there and try and win some games. But I think that's probably a little bit more towards the beginning of the season, middle of the season, when you're putting your team together and you go on long road trips. But this is playoff hockey. We're on the road. We're starting there. We got to be ready to play and win a hockey game.
You talked about winning at least one on the road. I mean, that's the goal. How does it change the complexion of a series when the visitors get that one?
Well, it doesn't really guarantee anything. All I know is that if we don't win one on the road, we're not going on. And so that's our objective. I think at this point is just to make sure we go out there and do the right things and try to play our brand of hockey and do enough good things where we can come away with a win or wins, and then we've got to come back home and hold serve there. So I mean, it's a long series. I think it's probably best just to go slow with it and just talk about Game 1, and then when Game 2 comes around, and even Game 3 when we get back home.
Along those lines, people talk about just going for a split. Is that a mentality mentality you have to avoid?
Well, then you'd be going right over the question I just answered. Like it's for me. I think our group will just go slow with things, and most teams I think will. I think you'd be hard pressed to find a coach sitting here saying that he wants a split. We're just going to get ready for game one. Our guys will be ready to play. We've had lots of preparation. We've had a couple of good practices. It'll be exciting. It'll be fun. It's game one of the playoffs. If you can't get excited for that, it's hard to get excited about anything. So that's what you play all year for, and now we get that opportunity to get into game one. So it's an exciting time.
Talking about going slow, like, did you expect just a full, grinded out, long series?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
They're a good hockey team. I mean, they're a lot of teams. A lot of people are picking them to not only win a series but win the West and possibly win the Cup. And their record in the second half says that they're a good hockey team. So we'll have to be ready to play. Our guys got a lot of belief and confidence in what we do, but certainly they're a heavy favorite going into this.
Is there such a thing as too much preparation time, or false?
I would rather be prepared. I'd rather have everything covered. When it comes time to play hockey, I think that all of that's just sitting in the back of your head, and you're pulling as much of it as you can. But it's a reactionary sport. It's a sport of energy. It's a sport of aggression. All those four things that I think will have to be first and foremost. And when we're moving, we'll be thinking on the way. But I don't think so. Our guys, we're not doing that much different. Our guys have done it all year. They've done a really good job of playing a certain style and a certain brand of hockey. We're just looking to continue that.
Will you remind your team that Anaheim's a heavy favorite and a lot of people are picking?
There's always things that you talk about, but you don't have to look too far into the media or look too far to see what people are saying to realize that. There was one time when one of our guys who does the stats work on our team, he had found 54 people picking and only 3 of them liked us. So I'd say that's a favorite. If you've got 49 votes that you're getting out of the series, but none of that means anything. You got to go out and play the series, and like I said, our guys believe in each other and they believe in what we do, and it'll be fun.
This team has to win some of these series and kind of erase that mentality, I guess, when people are thinking in the future, that to create a new identity for themselves, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, you never know what's going to happen if you do get out of a series. You don't know how you'll be looked at or whether you'll be liked or not. It's I remember back in 2006 when the team that came out of the West was Edmonton. We played them in the finals, and they had to go through some really big teams. I'm not sure that they were ever picked to be a favorite coming out of a series, but yet they made their way to the finals, and they took it to 7 games. And that's a credit to them for the run that they got on. And that just goes to tell you that in playoffs, anything can happen. Any team can win on any given night, and any team can win a series. And I think it all depends on how you play and all the good things that you can do on the ice. That'll determine the outcome, and then you move on from there.
Can you pick one thing in the postseason you got to have?
No. There's too many. If you just say the one thing, there's 5 things that could go south, and you're not moving on. So there's a lot of things that have to go your way.
Peter Laviolette, the head coach of the Nashville Predators, speaking to the media prior to boarding the plane for Anaheim. Game 1 with the Ducks, as we said, Friday night in Anaheim, 9:30. The puck drops. And Game 2 will be back in Anaheim Sunday evening. And again, once the series starts, there'll be a game every other night until this series is settled. And you heard the coach say not a lot of people are picking the Predators to win this series. All 10 of the ESPN hockey experts have all picked the Ducks, but the Predators seem to be going into this series with a lot of confidence, and you can see why, given how they played down the stretch. And you may have heard Thomas Willis in our previous segment, the first segment of the show, talking about one of the key factors for the Predators. It has to be their goaltender, Pekka Rinne. He's got to come up big if the Preds are going to win this series. We spoke with the Predators netminder earlier today as well.
Some are more intense than others. Can you just talk about, what it's going to be like, I guess, probably those first 10 minutes? I mean, their fans are going to be going crazy. You also mentioned that you got to kind of weather the storm a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. It's you get nervous thinking about it. A little bit butterflies and stuff. It's a great feeling, and like last year. I mean, playoffs starting at home, it was amazing. You have your fans behind you, and that's what we're gonna expect in Anaheim. So you try to weather the storm, especially at the beginning of the game. It's gonna be intense hockey, and we'll see how it's gonna go.
Because it's on their ice, is there maybe a little bit more pressure as this series starts on them because they have to hold serve?
I mean, they won their division, and they have a lot of expectations, but I think inside of our team we know what we can do, and we've showed it many times, and I feel like we match up pretty well against these guys, and it should be a great series.
Are you at the point where you're sick of the preparation, you just want to get this thing going, or do you relish the extra time to get ready for this?
I do. It's nice to. It's a lot of games, 82 games in a regular season. It's nice to get a few extra days to get ready and get a little breather and just prepare yourself and really get ready for these games. But it is nice to get going. I mean, now it's been a few days and you're just thinking about the games, and you know, it's time to get going.
Max, is the only way for this team to shake that image of eternal underdogs is to win a few of these series?
Absolutely, yeah. It comes down to not only doing well in the regular season, but going deep in playoffs, and you know, you gotta have that mindset that this is our year, this is my year, and you know, you have to own it and just go out there and have fun and really believe it.
You believe it right now?
Absolutely, I do, 100%.
With that in mind, I mean, you guys aren't a very popular pick to win this series. Do you play the underdog card? Do you even worry about that?
I know, you got to use it to your advantage. I mean, you shouldn't take any extra pressure. So it's a great position to be in. I mean, media doesn't give us any extra pressure, and you know, everything kind of stays inside of our locker room, inside of our team, and the expectations we have for each other, and so I think that's a good position to be in.
Predators goaltender Pekka Rinne looking very relaxed and confident heading into this series with the Anaheim Ducks. And as we said, as Pekka Rinne goes, so go the Nashville Predators. They'll need him to come up big in this series, and he certainly seems like he's ready to go, as are the Predators. So, again, it should be an exciting series, and we look forward to it. We're going to talk more about this series, hear from some more players as we get ready for the playoffs to begin. And we want to hear from you, Preds fans. How you feeling about your Predators heading into the playoffs, particularly in this series and long term? Do they have what it takes to get to the Western Conference or perhaps beyond? We want to hear from you, 737-7767. Also, later on the show, I'm going to give you my true thoughts about Kobe Bryant, and we're going to hear from the Golden State Warriors as they look to make history at the expense of the Memphis Grizzlies. Stay with us. SportsLine continues right after this.